So today we're going to talk about princes and principalities. In one of Paul's writing, he says, "We do not fight against men, but we fight against princes and principalities and the supernatural." So what does Paul mean by this? You have to go back to the book of Daniel to come across this. Now, we established in the last video that Satan roams the earth. This video is going to be about his minions and God's angels who contest to influence man. So in the book of Job, Satan tries to influence Job in all these ways, not directly by giving him dreams, but by making his life terrible and making him sick and covered in sores. So let's get into the book of Daniel here. And this is the book of Daniel, chapter 10. And basically, Daniel has been praying to God and fasting for 21 days or 3 weeks, waiting on word from God. And when he looks up, he's on the edge of a river, and he sees a man clothed in linen with a belt of fine gold and upas around his waist. His body was like beryl. His face was the appearance of lightning, and his eyes like flaming torches, his arms and legs like the gleaming of burnished bronze, and the sounds of his words like the sounds of the multitude. So this is a very intimidating angel that he sees there. But let's go on to the next, not the next page, but go down a little further. He falls on his face, and then an angel comes up and touches him. And I think this is a different angel that comes up and touches him, because Daniel describes him as looking like a man, as opposed to the other one with a lightning face and flame for eyes. And he says, "Fear not, Daniel, for from the first day that you set your heart to understanding and humbled yourself before God, your words have been heard, and I have come because of your words. The prince of the kingdom of Persia withstood me 21 days, but Michael, one of the chief princes, came to help me, for I was left there with the kings of Persia, and I came to help you understand." So this angel is saying that he was sent by God when Daniel started praying, and for 21 days he was held up by a demonic or fallen angel that was in the royal court in Persia. Okay, and he calls him the Prince of Persia, which means this angel that's fallen is set up to be the principality over Persia. And it later states that Michael, if you look at the end of, I believe it's chapter 11, he says, or beginning of chapter 12, "At that time shall arise Michael, the great prince, who has charge of your people." He's speaking to Daniel. So Michael is the prince that God has assigned to Israel. So Persia has a dark angel from the devil. Israel has Prince Michael, who is over them. So we got two different princes, one good, one bad. Okay, so in here in chapter 11, towards the end, the angel who was speaking to Daniel so at the end of chapter 10, he says, "Then he said, 'Do you know why I've come to you? But now I will return to fight against the prince of Persia, and when I go out, behold, the prince of Greece will come. But I will tell you what is inscribed in the book of truth. There is none who contends by my side against these except Michael, your prince.'" Okay, so this angel who's talking to Daniel is going to go back to help Michael with the prince of Persia, and the prince of Greece, who is also a dark angel, is going to come to help the prince of Persia. So it's Michael, this angel, versus the Prince of Persia and the Prince of Greece. So you have basically four angels all contesting over Persia, and anywhere that there's a large empire or whatever, it appears that there is either an angel set up by God over it or an angel set up by the devil. Since we know the devil says that all the kingdoms of the earth are his to give to who he wants, the devil is probably in charge of most of these. Whereas God's people, the Israelites, get Michael, and I'm willing to guess that Christians also are being looked over by angels because we denounce the bad and bring in the good. So I once heard a person talk about how when the Puritans landed on Plymouth Rock, how they set up a country devoted to God. And if you look at it, America has been blessed and watched over for a very long time by God. Now, that's because we were highly devoted to him and highly Christian. Nowadays, we as a nation are turning away from God. Our politicians, our laws, our people are not going to church. A lot of people are getting into paganism, as I would call it, which is, witchcraft, loving stuff like vampires, saying God doesn't exist, all these different things. So we as a nation may not be as protected as we used to be because we are losing more people to the dark side than we're bringing to the light side. So it's up to us to have what we call revival, which again, this is what these videos are about, is I want America to have a revival. And the reason is besides the obvious, is we may not have much time. If we can have revival, then maybe God will stave off whatever horribleness is coming at the end of days. But if we don't have a revival, then that will hasten the end of days. So again, bringing more people to the faith not only helps them, it helps everyone else, but it could help give us more time to bring more people to faith and be better. So again, this is all here in the book of Daniel, where it talks about angels and princes and principalities. And the other reason I was bringing this up was, if you look at Persia, which is Iran, in 1979, they went totally against Israel. They went psycho crazy against Israel. Their entire existence is to destroy Israel. They have tons of sanctions, and every spare penny they can scrape together goes to make missiles and drones to give to their proxies to shoot at Israel. So they basically have most of the Middle East against Israel. Their portion of the Middle East, their active part of the Muslim religion that they're over, is against Israel and wants to destroy them. They call Israel the little Satan, and they call America the big Satan. They want to have a caliphate to take over the world, and they want to destroy the little Satan Israel first, and then destroy America the big Satan second, and have this caliphate to make the Muslim religion the only religion in the entire world for Allah. The people in Iran also believe that they have a Messiah that is going to be returning to them that will be able to conduct miracles. So again, we're going to get into all of that in another video, but right now I just want to focus on the fact that in the past there was a prince of Iran and a prince over Greece, and nowadays it seems like maybe the prince that was over Persia / Iran, in the same place, has returned around 1979. And prior to that, the people that before Iran had the revolution, Egypt was insane about destroying Israel. And Egypt had a change of regime, and then in 78 and 79 did the Camp David Accords and created peace with Israel. So this shift of the hatred for Israel shifted from Egypt to Iran when the regimes shifted from one to the other which I do not think is coincidental at all. I think the devil puts his minions in places where the regime will listen, and the regime in Egypt failed after multiple wars against Israel, and he moved his efforts or his best soldiers over to Iran to overthrow their government and to start a new group to attack Israel, playing a different tactic. So again, I don't have any evidence of this in the Bible. It just makes sense when you read about the fact that Persia and Greece both had dark angels over them back in Daniel's day, that when you see the same type of behavior from an entire country against Israel, and there's no profit to it, there's no advantage to this hatred. They're shooting themselves in the foot. That sort of hatred is coming from a supernatural place, is my belief. So, hope you enjoyed this video. Please click and subscribe, share with others, and I look forward to the next one. God bless you all.